In scriptures, the human body is often referred to as the temple of God. Yet it is quite an uncommon privilege for any soul to attain this sacred abode that houses the divine, as it is truly a blessing to be reborn as a human being. As a living temple of God, the human body is fully equipped with miraculous wonders that can be awakened in those who are spiritually conscious and have complete faith in the Creator of all life. Innatia, Latin for fasting, is the human ability to live without food. Since time immemorial, there have always been individuals who can sustain themselves on prana, or the vital life force. Through the grace of the providence, innatiates, people who follow a food-free lifestyle, can draw the energy from nature to nourish themselves.
They live on the chi, from the ground, or from the forest, and from the sun and from the air. They make use of all that. Or they live on love, on faith alone.
Indeed, the possibilities and miracles in this life, as our benevolent Creator has designed for us, are endless. We only need to connect within to recognize our abounding largesse as God's children.
This program discusses the possibility of breatharianism, or living without eating food, and is not a full instruction. For your safety, please do not attempt to cease eating without proper expert guidance.
Jasmuheen's inner guidance led her to do what she later called the 21-day transitional process. In this, a person abstains from all food or liquids for the first 7 days, and then, for the next 14 days, consumes only diluted juices. Although Jasmuheen taught this process for several years, she now encourages her students to transition to a food-free lifestyle using a much longer, slower method.
I drink sometimes, okay? I still enjoy a cup of good coffee now and then. I have a little water sometimes, but I am receiving everything I need, all my nourishment, from a different flow of energy that we call prana. People call it chi, they call it mana, they call it cosmic particles, they call it divine love, the universal life force. Also, I never made the decision that I wanted to be a breatharian. It was an ability that came from the rising, the release of an energy within myself from a lifetime of spiritual practice, of meditation and other things. I went through a spiritual initiation in 1993 where my desire was to go into sacred union with this divine essence. We talk in different lineages of the Atman, of the monad, of the I am presence, of the higher self as a beautiful guide for humanity that works intuitively through us. And my interest was alchemy. And true alchemy is the mergence of the lower aspects of our being, our ego, lower mind, into divine marriage with our higher self, our superior self. And so I went through this spiritual initiation with that motivation. From that, my frequencies changed. I went into a different energy band and I just lost all my appetite. I had no physical hunger anymore. I had no emotional hunger. I had no spiritual hunger. I had no mental hunger. It was a shock for me because I was never interested in breatharianism consciously in my life, and I would never call myself that. But it was a natural byproduct from a pure-hearted motivation to know who I really am. And as Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven's within you. All those gifts are there. When we open to receive them, they flow, and this was a byproduct of that. Our public work with this now is to say, hey, don't forget that divine resource within you. But you need to activate it, you need to let it flow by our focus upon it. So for me, I spent 22 years before living on prana, living like a yogi again. Exercising the body, treating it like a temple, living a vegetarian diet. I've been vegetarian since I was 2 years old. what was relevant in 93 is not necessarily relevant now. And so the 21-day process is a hard process for the physical body, requiring discipline and commitment, and it's a test. It's like a strong spiritual initiation. But the energies now with our spiritual initiations are about joy and lightness and fluidity and flexibility and organic. And this is what I'm seeing now. When people are organically flowing into it very naturally, just eating less and less over time and really listening to the body, then it's a beautiful, successful, long-term transition. People want a quick fix. You know, sometimes they go, oh, I want to be the first person living on prana in my country, or I want to lose weight, or I want to be healthy. And these are reasons sometimes that draw people to do the 21-day process, or because it just feels right. It's a call in their heart. But we also need to be sensible. This is a beautiful mechanism, this body, and we don't want to create damage. And the 21-day process does not necessarily guarantee success, and I find it's too fast for people's emotional body transition. It's also too fast for social adjustment. Now remember, you will hear from many people who don't stay with this. The reason is because their family can't deal with it. But when you do it slowly, the family get used to you eating less and less, and that you've been vegetarian and vegan, then raw food, then fruit. They can see you're maintaining good energy, health, the body slowly detoxifies, and they get used to what you're doing. And so it's not a social shock, and it gives you a chance to adjust socially, to rearrange social interaction in different ways, not around food. And this is important because this is a big problem for people over the years. When they do the 21-day process, it's too fast. The difficulty of social adjustment is hard for them too. Meditate,
quand vous méditez,
you put your brain into alpha frequency patterns.
vous mettez votre cerveau dans des schémas d'ondes cérébrales alpha,
Makes you healthy.
de fréquences cérébrales.
Gives you mental clarity.
Ça vous donne une bonne santé, ça vous donne la clarté mentale.
If you listen to the divine voice within and follow its guidance,
Si vous écoutez la voix du divin à l'intérieur et que vous suivez sa guidance,
keep meditating
et que vous continuez à méditer
on that divine
sur
essence,
cette essence divine,
brainwave patterns go to theta levels.
les schémas, les fréquences cérébrales et les schémas de fréquences cérébrales passent à des niveaux θ.
In theta
Et au
levels,
niveau θ,
different frequency emanation in the body.
ça fait des fréquences différentes qui émanent dans le corps.
More chi,
Plus de ki,
more prana.
plus de prana.
Jasmuheen shares with us about the many benefits of the pranique lifestyle.
How can we make our presence here
Comment est-ce que nous pouvons faire que notre présence ici
beneficial to Mother Earth?
soit avantageuse et bénéfique pour
A new harmonic.
notre mère Terre, une nouvelle harmonie?
Easy.
Facile.
We decide to be givers
C'est facile, hein? Nous décidons d'être des donneurs
and not takers.
et plus des preneurs.
That's a good gift.
Ça, c'est un bon cadeau.
Yeah? Okay. So let's do something practical.
Alors, nous allons faire quelque chose de pratique. Hein?
The first gift we can give Mother Earth,
Le premier cadeau que nous pouvons faire
apart from the commitment to a new system of operation,
à part cet engagement à nous engager à passer à un nouveau système de
is
fonctionnement,
a wiser use of resources.
c'est par une utilisation des ressources plus sage.
We can unhook our dependence from the world's food resources
Nous pouvons décrocher la dépendance que nous avons sur les ressources alimentaires de la planète
by remembering the divine resource within.
en nous rappelant de la ressource divine qui est en nous.
Eat less.
Manger moins.
Vegetarian, of course.
Végétarien, bien sûr.
Vegan, of course.
Végétalien, bien sûr.
And eventually,
Et finalement,
just prana.
simplement du prana.
Okay? with just prana,
avec uniquement du
the
prana,
only thing you're doing on the world, in the earth, is walking with the rhythm of love.
la seule chose que vous faites sur la planète Terre, ça va être de marcher dans le rythme de l'amour.
That's a nice rhythm.
Ça, c'est un rythme sympa.
It's like a mother whose children have grown up and become mature.
C'est comme une maman dont les enfants ont grandi, sont devenus mûrs.
The initiation that I went through in June in 1993, we call it Living on Light, the 21-day process. And in 1993 it was very suitable because the consciousness on the planet was very dense. There's been a blossoming of human consciousness. So now we don't need to do the 21-day process to live on prana. It's a very extreme thing to do. But it is what I did, and my frequency was matching that in it anyway. So it was easy for me to stay with this Living on Light experience, even though I didn't understand it. You know, I had no science of it. All I knew was that I went through this amazing initiation that just flooded me with more love, with more light, and took away my hunger. Then my role was to share this knowledge with the world and to say to people, you have a choice. You know, you can be fed by physical food, which is lovely, very delicious for the flavor, socially wonderful, but you can be fed in other ways as well by just really allowing that divine essence to rise within you by your focus upon it, living a lifestyle that encourages the blossoming of this pure perfect force within you and then opening to its
Jasmuheen
gifts.
reminds us that we must carefully prepare physically, mentally and spiritually for the food-free lifestyle.
You know, the 21-day process gave me the gift of being able to live on prana because my system was prepared. I'd had over 20 years of preparation and other lifetimes of tuning and understanding. But if you take an untuned system and even do that process, it's too much of an extreme initiation. I won't publicly support it anymore because what I even find is, even though I wrote the book Living on Light, we give detailed instructions of what people need to do, and 7 out of 10 people ignore those instructions because the people attracted to this are also very much in their own mastery, and they go, well, I'll do it my way. But if they get into trouble, which they can do, because to deny the body these 7 days in the initiation of no food and fluid can be too much of a shock for the system. I've been working with this for 20 years. We've developed safe, slower systems. The book, Living on Prana, Living on Light, with the 21-day process, it has a 10% success rate. Okay, so 1 person out of 10 achieves the end gift or one gift of this, which is living on prana. Everybody who does that process receives a gift. A detox for 3 weeks, a good cleansing, or a rest, a holiday, a retreat, or some divine insight or deeper meditation. There is gifts there, and so it is beautiful experience for the right people. But to go into that experience expecting the gift of living on prana. So 21-day process is a quick, short-term transition that can be dangerous for the untrained. Well, as soon as they feel it could be dangerous, they should stop. You know, that's the first sign, this intuitive feeling. Secondly, they can feel so energyless and so drained. But again, one of the guidelines of this is unless you can hear your divine voice 100% and trust it, this is not a process for you. If you're still in, oh, maybe I have to ring someone and see what's what, or I need an external support system, then I believe that you're not ready and you should wait. If you can't have good communication with your body and talk to it and see what's happening and feel sensitively, feel the energy flows, then again you're ignoring important signals if the body is stressed. If you haven't had that deep, deep experience in meditation of that pulse of the divine essence and its purity, then the body's like, oh, what's going on? You're not feeding me. You're not giving me fluid. Ah! And that creates a disturbance in the field. So we really want people, if they're going to do this, to be super trained. 100% trust in the divine voice so it can guide them. as the inner guru, 100% fabulous connection with mind and body, the ability to sense the energy flow so you know exactly what's right. This process shouldn't be uncomfortable, and that should not be happening if people are prepared. If you're going to do this, then you need a good, strong physical, emotional and mental detoxification before you begin the 21-day process. And then it's a joyous process and it's easy for people. So, for example, if you minimize your diet, you go from vegetarian to vegan to raw food to fruit, and that naturally detoxifies the body. Then the body, once it goes through the 21-day process, is more prepared. If you have colonic irrigation, that means a complete flushing out of old in the colon, then again they're clean and the body won't go into detoxification. It's through the 21-day process.
Jasmuheen explains the many advantages to learning to live on prana gradually.
And what I do support is a very slow, natural, organic process, like we talk about in the book, The Food of Gods. Because not only is it slow and safe for you, but it gives your emotional body a chance to get used to this reality and the rhythm, the social rhythm of living without physical food. The biggest problem people have with living on prana initially is they become socially alienated. Yeah, their family get worried because the physical shock to the body initially can mean they lose a lot of weight. They can be quite excluded on social levels because they're not taking physical food anymore. Motivation is everything. So I watch people in the world saying, I'm going to live on prana, I want to live on prana, it feels right, but I don't know what the formula for that is, because that wasn't my motivation. My motivation was to go into that energy pool of that divine essence and feel open to all its gifts. And then this gift came quite unexpectedly, you know. And I find that all these incredible gifts come to a human being when we let go, let God, let go of expectation and put ourselves in the deepest rhythm of pure love within ourselves. And from there, those gifts come. Now, what meditation techniques you need, what religious philosophy you need, what spiritual reality you need to find that current of pure love within you, don't know. But you know when the model of reality you are carrying and your spiritual practice is right for you, because you get healthier, you get happier, and your life is filled with grace, and then all these gifts come naturally, organically. But you know, living on light, you can't grab it. You can't say, I want it, this is what I'm going to do. It is a natural process of a slow, organic evolution of frequency matching with its field of energy. Let this gift come to you naturally without grabbing it. Hold the idea that it is a field of possibility that everyone can come into with the rhythm of the breath, with will, with intention. No dangerous 21-day process. Okay? I know you have a list of questions about that, but my first response is, if you have to ask these sorts of questions, you're not ready. If you cannot say that you trust 100% your divine inner voice, which is the perfect guru to take you through this, you're not ready. People are hungry in our planet. When we give them the real nourishment, allow them, remind them, educate them into understanding the true source of nourishment, then everyone acts in such a different way with compassion, because everyone is taken care of. Many people go 8 o'clock breakfast time.
Il y a le petit déjeuner, beaucoup de gens considèrent que 8h du matin c'est l'heure du petit déj.
Oh, 1:30 lunchtime.
Ah, il est 1h30, c'est l'heure du déjeuner.
Oh, 7, 8 o'clock at night, it's dinner time.
Ah, il est vers 7h, 8h, ah, c'est l'heure du dîner.
That's habit.
Ça, ce sont des habitudes.
Is it necessary?
Ce n'est pas nécessaire.
Instead, when you get up,
à la place, quand vous vous levez,
around breakfast time,
vers l'heure du petit déjeuner,
ask your body, is it hungry?
demandez à votre corps s'il a faim.
If it says no,
Si le corps vous dit non,
don't eat.
ne mangez pas.
If it says yes,
S'il dit oui,
Ask it what it wants.
Demandez au corps ce qu'il veut.
Okay? And have that.
Et prenez ça.
So the 3 mantras.
Donc, les 3 mantras.
To come quickly into that merged state of the bodhisattva.
Pour passer rapidement à cet état fusionné, cet état du bodhisattva.
The first one.
Premier mantra.
I am.
Je suis.
Love.
Amour.
I am.
Je suis.
I am on the inhale.
Je suis sur l'inspire.
On the exhale.
Et à l'expire.
Love. Directing the flows with your mind and the mantra out through the body and out into the world.
En dirigeant la circulation, ce flow avec votre mental directement dans le corps et puis à l'extérieur dans le monde.
It aligns cellular structure to the fields of love.
Et ça aligne la structure cellulaire au champ de l'amour.
That's the purpose of the mantra.
Donc ça c'est l'objectif, la raison d'être de ce mantra.
Second mantra.
Deuxième mantra.
To align cellular structure to their own immortal nature.
Pour aligner la structure cellulaire à sa propre nature immortelle.
I am.
Je suis.
Éternel. Realigns the cells.
Ça réaligne les cellules.
To that eternal energy.
Sur cette énergie éternelle.
That flows through the matrix.
Et cette circulation à travers la matrice.
Not because you're chasing immortality.
Et ce n'est pas parce que vous pourchassez l'immortalité.
But to recognize your own immortal nature.
Mais il s'agit là de reconnaître, que vous puissiez reconnaître votre propre nature immortelle.
Third mantra.
Troisième mantra.
Designed to quickly expand consciousness and recognize that we exist throughout the whole matrix and we are not confined to a physical body. I am.
Je suis.
Infinite.
Infini.
We unify the group energy pool.
Donc ça unifie le bassin d'énergie du groupe.
By recognizing the essence we have in common.
En reconnaissant l'essence de ce que nous avons en commun.
We go beyond separatism.
Nous allons au-delà du séparatisme.
Beyond the fact we've all received individual spiritual training.
Nous allons au-delà du fait que nous avons chacun reçu une formation spirituelle individuelle.
At the same time, we give ourselves the nourishment we need on all levels.
En même temps, nous donnons à tous et à chacun la nourriture dont nous avons besoin au niveau cellulaire.
We awaken that divine resource within to another level.
Nous éveillons cette ressource naturelle en nous pour la passer à un autre niveau.
And with the out breath, we feed ourselves and others.
À l'expire, nous nous nourrissons nous-mêmes et les autres.
I like it.
Je l'aime.
That's my breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Pour moi, c'est mon petit-déj, déjeuner et dîner.
Okay, do you believe it can be that simple?
Vous croyez que c'est aussi simple que ça? Ça peut être aussi simple que ça? Vraiment.
Healing.
Guérissant.
We draw these pure frequencies in through the inhale, let it flood through the body, let it rebalance, let it recalibrate, let it reset a new vibrational pattern and heal and nourish and guide.
Donc vous attirez, vous puisez attirer en vous cette énergie-là, faites circuler en vous, et elle élimine tout ce qui ne vous convient plus là maintenant, donc en guérissant, en nourrissant.
Jasmuheen states that the body responds to our positive intentions.
So our intention,
donc notre intention,
as we inhale,
quand nous inspirons,
is that we draw this energy from those dimensions within through the atoms, and then the exhale we let it flood through cellular structure and then out through the pores of the skin, out into the space around us.
Donc notre intention, c'est que nous inspirons, nous puisons à partir de cette dimension intérieure, nous aspirons cette énergie et puis nous la répandons dans tous nos atomes, par nos atomes, et puis nous la répandons dans toutes nos cellules et la faisons sortir par les pores de notre peau pour aller se répandre tout autour de nous.
Okay, now the intention.
Alors maintenant, l'intention
is with the exhale.
se trouve justement sur l'expire.
We are then flooding each cell
À l'expire, nous inondons chaque cellule
with an energy that has the power to dissolve everything in cellular structure that is not of a matching frequency.
Nous inondons nos cellules d'une énergie qui est faite pour dissoudre tout ce qu'il y a dans notre structure cellulaire qui ne correspond pas à ces fréquences.
So any frequency you hold in cellular structure from other timelines that no longer serves you, dissolve.
Donc, toute fréquence dont vous êtes porteur et qui vous vient d'autres lignes de temps, d'autres dimensions comme ça, tout ça se dissout.
Now remember, the body cannot tell the difference between a real event and an imagined event, and when it feels that flood of love that you are the master present, it will do anything to fulfill your intention as the master you are.
Rappelez-vous, le corps ne peut pas faire la différence entre un événement réel et un événement imaginé. Donc, imaginez, oui c'est ça. Donc, à chaque fois que vous allez faire ça, le corps va répondre à vous en tant que le maître que vous êtes.
And we take it to the next level, let it flow through the skin, through the pores of our skin, out into the external space to also nourish others.
Et puis ensuite on passe, on va plus loin et on laisse sortir, circuler, s'écouler ça à travers les pores de notre peau pour aller nourrir les autres.
Very powerful.
Très puissant.
So instead of being a taker in the world, you become a giver.
Donc, à ce moment-là, au lieu d'être dans le monde un preneur, quelqu'un qui prend, vous devenez un donneur.
The more you can access this divine resource within, the freer you become from the need to take external resources.
Plus vous allez pouvoir accéder à cette ressource intérieure qui est vraiment en vous, moins vous aurez la sensation d'avoir besoin de prendre les choses à l'extérieur.
There's such a peace in that.
Et il y a une telle paix là-dedans.
So even if you just reduce your food intake by half, okay, so eat because you love it and you still believe it's necessary, but cut right back and take half your normal consumption, what gift does a vegan diet, a vegetarian diet give to the planet as far as better use of resources? Being vegan, being vegetarian, we know it gives mental clarity. We know it changes brainwave patterns when you also use meditation. We know that the body gets healthier. We know the body can live longer. We know many benefits from vegan, vegetarian diet. So then with prana, wow, because one, you have 100% energy with none of it being diverted to digestion. So all that energy can go into operating in different ways in the body. So people get greater mental clarity, they're stronger. You know, prana's pure food, no insecticides, food colorings, pesticides. And once we've proven to ourselves that these flows are nourishing us and we have this freedom of choice by experiencing living it, then create a way of being that works for us also socially. They tell me there's about 40,000 now in the West who have the ability now to choose where they want to get their nourishment from. So some people of the 40,000 have one meal once a month. And obviously it's a light meal, maybe, you know, a bit of fruit or a soup, a vegetarian soup or a salad, because they like to do this with family. Some have one meal once a week. Some have one meal every 3 days of something very light because it pleasures them. And the point of this is always freedom of choice and the benefits for our world. Wow! You think of how many tons of sewage going through our world. How many tons of waste, of plastics that we have to get rid of everything involved in food production that we have to get rid of. All of that is reduced substantially as we learn to become more dependent on the divine resource within. And when we let it be natural and organic, it's not dangerous. There's nothing to say except listen to the voice of your body, increase the chi flow through your spiritual practice. The stepping stone for transformation in a human being's life is to, with a very sincere heart, to us to experience who we really are. Because in the West, we're not educated into understanding ourselves as really being divinely beautiful beings. We're seen as a mind, the intellect, the emotion, the body, but we're not given the understanding that we are actually supreme beings in physical form. And I think it's nice that people, when they're ready, to really sit in sincere-hearted silence and to really ask to experience who we are on all levels of our being, and to also to experience the kingdom of heaven within and Buddha's pure land, and to ask to experience that rhythm of love within us and all of its gifts. You can't have any of these experiences till you're ready. If we're still mesmerized by the external world, if we still think we're going to be happy making money and having the right wife and the right car and the right family and the right education and all of that, that's all fine. But when we realize that maybe that's not nourishing enough, then to come into that sincere place within and just really ask for the grander levels, the grander experiences, the truth of our very beingness, then that's a request that when a human heart is really ready and open to, that will never be denied fulfillment, because it is our birthright to remember who we really are, and it's our birthright of planet Earth now to walk in peace and harmony. So all of the energies from photon energy of spiritual expression, everything now, the prophecy is supporting this flowering of human consciousness. And so it's a nice beginning point. When I was in Russia,
Quand j'étais en Russie,
I met so many people
j'ai rencontré tellement de
who
gens
had naturally just flown into this reality of being filled by this divine essence, so they weren't hungry on any level, including physical.
qui étaient naturellement passés à cette réalité de vivre sans avoir besoin de prendre de nourriture, ni de fluide d'ailleurs, donc ils étaient comme ça au niveau physique.
But their family were finding it very difficult that somebody that they loved was choosing to go without physical food.
Leur famille trouvait très difficile que quelqu'un qu'ils aiment puisse vivre sans nourriture physique.
So we shared with these ones,
Donc avec ces personnes, nous avons partagé,
just say to your family,
nous leur avons dit, dites simplement à votre
I
famille,
know you're concerned
je sais que vous vous préoccupez,
because you love me.
vous vous tracassez parce que vous m'aimez.
So if I go and have full medical testing,
Donc si je vais passer un examen médical complet,
and that testing proves I'm healthy,
et que ces tests et ces examens prouvent que je suis en bonne santé,
will then you please stop worrying?
est-ce que s'il vous plaît, alors à ce moment-là, vous allez arrêter de vous tracasser?
A bargain.
On fait un deal, hein?
Yeah?
On marche.
That means it's that person's responsibility to make sure they are completely healthy and that the medical tests say so.
Donc la responsabilité de cette personne à partir de là, c'est de s'assurer qu'elle va faire un bilan médical complet et sa responsabilité c'est d'être en bonne santé et que ces tests disent que c'est le fait.
I find when my body's resting that I'm still like plugged into a divine circuitry board and it never ends. We've written 36 books in the last 17 years. We've done 30 CDs, albums of music and meditations. We've travelled constantly around the world. My walls are filled with paintings. Right now we're doing poetry and channeling music. And look, it's amazingly fun. It's just fun, you know? Some of you have heard of people who in India have been buried for long periods of time.
Certains d'entre vous qui avez déjà travaillé avec moi, j'avais déjà partagé ça, l'histoire de ces êtres, de ces gens en Inde qui se font enterrer sous terre pendant une longue période de temps.
You know, yogis who wouldn't eat, they wouldn't drink, and they wouldn't take oxygen.
Des yogis qui n'ont pas besoin qui ne mangent pas, qui ne boivent pas et qui ne prennent pas d'oxygène, donc.
And part of their service was to prove that you can get everything from the internal dimensions, including air.
Et en partie, une partie de leur service était justement de prouver que nous pouvons puiser tout à partir des dimensions intérieures, y compris l'air.
I actually met this man who has done that.
Et donc l'autre soir à Paris, en fait, j'ai rencontré cet homme qui a fait ça.
He was a very rich man.
Il était un homme très riche
in India,
en Inde,
a doctor,
médecin,
made a lot of money.
il avait gagné beaucoup d'argent.
And at one point, he was guided to let go of all of that, give it all away.
Et à un moment, il a été guidé à lâcher tout ça et à tout donner.
You know, it's common in India when people get to a certain age, once they've spent 20 odd years in education, then 25 years or more raising family and doing all that, for the men to then pursue the life of the yogi and leave all that to go into solitude and have their spiritual journey.
C'est assez courant en Inde que surtout les hommes, après avoir passé 20 ans à faire leur propre éducation, puis 20 ans ou 25 ans à élever des enfants, une famille, que de passer à un autre niveau et de poursuivre leur chemin sur la voie spirituelle.
And knowing this tradition, his wife was very happy for him to go.
Et bon, connaissant cette tradition, en fait, sa femme elle lui a donné la permission de partir.
So he went to the jungle and he lived in the jungle for 12 years.
Alors il est parti dans la jungle, il a vécu dans la jungle pendant 12 ans.
And when he came back into the world,
Et quand il est revenu dans le monde,
people wanted proof of this energy,
les gens voulaient avoir la preuve de cette énergie,
that it could feed you
que cette énergie était capable de nous nourrir
and nourish the soul.
et de nourrir l'âme aussi.
And he decided that he would experiment, he'd show them.
Et il a décidé qu'il allait faire cette expérience pour leur montrer.
And so he allowed himself to be buried for 92
Et
days.
donc il a demandé à être enterré pendant 92 jours.
He said it was the most fabulous thing he's ever done.
Et il dit que c'est la chose la plus fabuleuse qu'il ait jamais faite.
Because of course when you do that,
Parce que bien sûr, quand vous faites ça,
all you do is slow the metabolic rate right down.
tout ce que vous faites, c'est qu'en fait vous ralentissez votre métabolisme complètement.
Leave the body,
Vous quittez le corps,
explore the inner universes,
vous explorez les univers intérieurs,
go cosmic traveling,
des voyages cosmiques,
and have a holiday.
et en fait vous êtes en
The
vacances.
wonderful Master Ching Hai is one of the world's foremost advocates for global vegetarianism.
C'est une maître et elle est une des avocates les plus célèbres et les plus fameuses pour le véganisme végétalien.
Recognizing the impact that will have on global warming.
Simplement en reconnaissant l'impact que ça aurait sur le réchauffement climatique.
I met with Master Ching Hai a few years ago,
Mais j'ai rencontré Maître Ching Hai il y a quelques années
and she's very interested in breatharianism.
et ça intéresse beaucoup de comprendre également ce qu'est le vivre de prana, le respirianisme.
As Master Ching Hai is aware, and everyone is aware, we're in a time of global changes, global climate influence. We would love to see a vegetarian world because that will make a big impact on climate change, as we know. I'm sure you'll agree with me
Je suis sûre que vous serez d'accord avec moi.
that so many children now being born are so gifted.
Il y a tellement d'enfants à l'heure actuelle qui naissent maintenant, qui sont vraiment tellement
And
doués.
they're completely rewired differently to us.
Ils sont complètement, comment on peut dire, branchés différemment de nous.
They're coming into all families.
Ils arrivent dans toutes les familles.
They want the truth.
Ils veulent la vérité.
You cannot treat them as babies.
Vous ne pouvez pas les traiter comme des bébés.
They are wise, great beings.
Ce sont des êtres sages.
My grandson,
Mon petit-fils,
he's 3.5.
il a 3 ans et demi.
I'm teaching him how to drive my car.
Je suis en train de lui apprendre à conduire ma voiture.
He insists on it.
Il a insisté, il insiste pour que je l'apprenne à
Okay?
conduire.
He says, Nana,
Il dit, Nana,
what is this?
c'est quoi ça?
It's the gear stick.
C'est le levier de vitesse.
What does it do?
À quoi ça sert?
It changes gears.
Ça change les vitesses.
Why?
Pourquoi?
Changes speeds.
Pour changer de vitesse.
How?
Comment?
He's 3.
Il a 3 ans.
He's trying to drive my car when I'm
Il
driving.
essaye de conduire ma voiture quand je conduis.
I had to say to my daughter, you know, I'm teaching your son how to drive.
J'ai dû dire à ma fille, tu sais, je suis en train d'apprendre à ton fils à
She
conduire.
says he's 3.
Elle m'a dit, mais il a 3 ans.
I say, I know, that's why I'm telling
J'ai dit,
you.
je sais, c'est pour ça que je te préviens.
He wants to know everything.
Il veut tout
and
savoir.
smart.
Et malin.
You know, you can't just say, oh, you're too young for that.
Intelligent, vous pouvez pas leur dire tout simplement, non, non, t'es trop jeune.
It's like he looks at you as if, hello, I'm a wise cosmic being.
Il vous regarde avec l'air de dire, mais attends un peu, je suis un être cosmique.
If we
très
make a
sage.
statement,
Si nous faisons une déclaration, une phrase,
that's not a truth for
qui
us.
n'est pas une vérité pour nous,
That's not for our highest good.
quelque chose qui n'est pas pour notre plus grand bien,
Then that essence changes the rhythm of the breath.
alors cette essence change le rythme de notre respiration.
So,
Donc,
I want you to think of something
je veux que vous pensiez à quelque chose
very simple
très simple,
that you know is alive for you, and you're going to chant it as if it's a truth, and just watch what the breath does.
dont vous savez que pour vous c'est un mensonge et vous allez le répéter comme une incantation à l'intérieur et simplement observer ce que fait votre respiration.
We're not breathing in a particular way.
Nous ne respirons pas d'une façon particulière.
We're
pour
just
ça.
going to watch the breath.
Nous allons seulement observer.
Second part,
Deuxième partie,
think of something that you know is an absolute truth.
pensez à quelque chose dont vous savez que c'est une vérité absolue.
Chant it.
Et vous le répétez, le psalmodie.
See what your breath does.
Vous voyez ce que fait votre souffle.
So let's close our eyes.
Alors nous fermons nos yeux.
Again, think of something simple that is alive, but chant it as a truth. See what the breath does as you watch it.
Et puis maintenant vous pensez à quelque chose qui est pour vous une vérité absolue. Et puis vous le répétez, vous le psalmodiez, vous regardez, observez simplement ce que fait le souffle, ce que fait votre respiration.
And then you can sense the difference up in your eyes.
Et quand vous pouvez ressentir la différence, percevoir la différence, ouvrez les yeux.
How many of you found when you chanted a lie as if it was a truth, it felt as if your breath went up to here and everything was going inside?
Pour combien d'entre vous, la sensation que vous avez eue quand vous étiez en train de répéter un mensonge, la sensation qu'ici ça se contractait, que c'était en haut. Vous avez senti ça?
How many of you found when you chanted the truth that it was as if the breath dropped right down and everything opened up inside?
Pour combien d'entre vous, quand vous étiez en train de répéter votre vérité, avez eu la sensation que tout descendait et qu'à l'intérieur tout s'ouvrait?
Yeah? There's your inner guru.
Ça, c'est votre gourou intérieur.
Okay? There's your answers.
Voilà vos réponses.
Anytime you're unsure about anything,
À chaque fois que vous n'êtes pas sûr de quelque chose,
make a statement as if it's true.
vous faites une phrase, une déclaration comme si c'était vrai
See what the breath does.
et voyez ce que fait votre respiration.
Particularly regarding living purely on prana.
Surtout quand il s'agit de passer à vivre uniquement de prana.
To stop taking physical food
Quand il s'agit d'arrêter de prendre de la nourriture
can be
physique,
damaging to the body
ce serait à vraiment faire des dégâts dans le corps.
unless your prana flow is strong.
Donc arrêter de prendre de la nourriture physique abîmerait votre corps si le flot de prana n'est pas vraiment fort.
So using this technique,
Donc en utilisant cette technique,
let's get some interesting information.
on va aller chercher des informations intéressantes.
Okay, let's close our eyes.
Nous allons fermer les yeux
And as we share these statements,
et quand nous allons partager ces phrases,
watch what the breath does.
observez seulement ce que fait votre souffle. Le souffle.
We make the statement.
Vous dites cette phrase à l'intérieur.
It is in my divine blueprint to live purely on prana this life.
C'est dans mon programme divin de vivre uniquement de prana au cours de cette vie.
It is in my divine blueprint
C'est dans mon programme divin
to live purely on prana this life.
de vivre uniquement de prana dans cette vie.
Just keep chanting that and watch what your breath does.
Continuez à le répéter, à le psalmodier, voyez ce que fait
Prana
votre
now
souffle.
provides.
Le prana maintenant me fournit.
More than 50%
Plus de 50%
of my physical body nourishment
plus de 50% de nourriture pour mon corps physique.
Just keep chanting more than 50% as we think of this as a nourishment stream.
Continuez à répéter seulement plus de 50%.
What does your breath do?
Que fait votre respiration?
Perhaps your breath said no.
Peut-être que votre respiration, votre souffle a dit non.
So check again, more than 40%.
Alors vérifiez à nouveau, plus de 40%.
Perhaps your breath said yes.
Peut-être que votre respiration a dit oui.
So check again, more than 60%.
Alors vérifiez à nouveau, plus de 60%.
Just checking your prana percentage with the breath.
Vous êtes en train de vérifier votre pourcentage de prana.
And as we share these statements,
Et quand nous allons partager ces phrases,
say them over and watch what the breath does.
voulez-vous les répéter à l'intérieur encore et observer seulement ce que fait votre souffle.
For those of you here
Pour ceux d'entre vous ici,
who aren't that interested perhaps in living on prana,
que ça ne m'intéresse pas tant que ça, peut-être, de vivre de prana,
at least you found out what your percentage is so you can give a gift to Mother Earth now.
au moins vous avez trouvé maintenant quel est votre pourcentage de prana, ce qui fait que vous pouvez faire à notre Mère Terre le cadeau maintenant.
Those of you who got yes to 50%,
Ceux d'entre vous, par exemple, qui avaient eu oui à 50%,
how many of you found your prana percentage is more than 50%?
combien d'entre vous avez trouvé que votre pourcentage de prana est plus que 50%?
Okay. Your immediate gift to Gaia
Votre cadeau immédiat à Gaïa
is to safely reduce your food intake by 50%.
peut-être justement, c'est de immédiatement réduire votre consommation de nourriture de 50%,
If you want,
si vous le souhaitez.
it's safe.
C'est en toute sécurité.
Personal harmonization, global harmonization, universal harmonization. What happens when we become a planet of enlightened beings? In that we are filled with love and light. Because remember, enlightenment is a journey, not a destination, and we can always be filled with more light and love. What happens then? What dimension will we collectively enter? We talk about it a time of a fulfillment of prophecy of the Mayans and so much more, and we're in that time now. And the prophesized time is that we will enter into a period of 1,000 years of peace, if not more. We have a chance now to live in a more cooperative society that runs for the benefit of all.
Our thankfulness, Jasmuheen, for sharing your knowledge about the pranique lifestyle and vision of a loving planet. Your dedicated efforts help make our world a kinder and lighter place in which to live. May your noble work in service of Earth inhabitants be graced with success.